insurance. Do it face to face.
Buy-to-let, thatched, commercial. We're your high street insurance brokers for all types of insurance. Avoid faceless internet firms.
High House Insurance. Do it face to face.
See Neil and the friendly team at High Street Selsey.
High House Insurance. Do it face to face.
Or call Selsey 606 552.
Hello and welcome to Selsey Internet Radio. I'm Emma Cawley. In today's broadcast we're having a mixed bag of interesting articles for you. We will be bringing you an interview with Selsey Choir Leader. Also our regular spot with Lyn's Larder for tips on cooking up some yummy treats. And let's not forget Giles Peare, who will be helping us with tips for the October garden. We will then finish with a thought for the day. So let's get on with what's in and around Selsey in the next 7 to 10 days. Grab yourself a pen and paper to jot down anything that might take your interest. Firstly, we have the smart group Art Stream Selsey, a drawing and painting group for anyone who is interested in the arts, and that takes place in the Church Hall in Church Road, Selsey, alternate Wednesdays. So that's 9:15 to 12:15 in the morning. For more information, you can call Angela on Selsey 603 332. Next up, Selsey Carpet Bowls Club. They meet at Medmurray Primary School in School Lane on Wednesday and Thursday evenings at 7 p.m. and on Sundays at 9:30 a.m. and 3 p.m. All equipment is provided. New members are very welcome. You can contact Sylvia Cox on 607 004 or Annette Iskett on Selsey 606 227. Now, calling all bingo fans, the Academy Selsey's PTA have a prize bingo evenings, and the next one is on October the 25th, and they have another one at the end of November on the 29th. Doors will be open at 6:30 p.m. and eyes down at 7 p.m. Everyone is welcome, and I know they have some fabulous prizes, so that would be a great evening out. For a more sedate pastime, we have Crafty Natter Club in Selsey Methodist Church, and that takes place on the first and the third Wednesdays of the month, 2 to 4 p.m. in the large hall. For more information, you can contact Lisa Allinson on Selsey 601 032. Also in Selsey, we have a couple of posts for volunteers. Firstly, Selsey Scouts are very short of leaders. If you can spare a few hours each week to help keep a group running, you would be very welcome to go and join them. So please give Jane Smith a phone call on Selsey 605 741 and she'd be happy to chat with you about what the role would entail. Also in Selsey, Meals on Wheels are looking for volunteer drivers. An hour or two a week could transform someone else's life. They need both men and women to deliver meals to the housebound in Selsey. You will be reimbursed 45 pence per mile for fuel. So if you're interested, please contact Sheila Webb on either of these numbers, 602 129 or 607 483. Well, that's it for what's on this week. Now let's get on with our first interview. I do believe that it is Hugh Graham talking to the Selsey Choir Leader. Over to you.
I'm in the Snack Shack premises. I'm Hugh Graham for Selsey Internet Radio, and I'm talking to Chris Butler. Chris, apparently Selsey's going to have its own community choir.
Well, it's got its own community choir.
Really?
Yes.
How many people are in it?
At the moment, I think about 65, but it's still rising every week. So I'm not quite sure how many people we'll end up with.
And are you going to do a concert?
Yes, we're doing a concert on the 18th of December, and we think that is going to be at the Selsey Centre.
Right.
But there'll be lots of information about that around the town prior to that performance.
Okay. And what time will it start? About 7:30?
I think it'll be 7 o'clock, actually.
Right. And how long will the repertoire go on for?
Oh, I think about an hour.
Really?
Yes, well, we hope it'll be an hour.
Yes. And how did this miracle come about?
Well, we started Arts Dream, which is a new arts association in Selsey, and the whole point of that really was to work in partnership with schools, agencies, you know, to promote arts activity really for the community of Selsey.
Okay.
And part of that, we did some consultation with the community, and some people thought that a community choir or a choir would be something that they'd like to get engaged in. So that's how it started, and then what we did was to do a pilot project as part of the Selsey Festival. We got that sponsored by the University of Chichester.
Right.
And that was the time when I engaged then Andre Nascimento, because I had heard about him. That
So tell me a bit about him.
well, he's a Brazilian choral master.
Yeah.
He's been in this country for a few years, and in that time he's run a variety of different choirs. He teaches music theory as well as other music development with other organisations. He's been involved in conducting, a vocal coach, teaching all ages. He's an international music producer, so he has a very credible CV.
Right.
And the other thing is he's just great fun and has a charismatic personality, and everybody enjoys him.
Okay, so when did he meet the choir?
When did he meet the choir? Well, during the taster session, which was in August. He met about 25 of the choir then, and I think word got round that this guy was really fun and great to be involved with. You know, he's very inspirational. He pushes you and drives you to really sing and to enjoy the activity.
So if is he going back to Brazil?
Yes, unfortunately he's going back to Brazil at the end of the year.
So what will happen to the choir then?
Oh, we hope it's still going to continue. And then what we'll do is to try and get another choral master. I mean, what I want to try and get is somebody who has that charisma, has that personality, has that drive and the aspiration really to push people to do the best possible art that they can do. And that's what I want for Selsey, really.
So when you do the performance in just before Christmas, who will provide the music? I mean, is there going to be an orchestra?
Oh no, there'll just be a pianist.
Just a pianist?
Yes,
yes. And what will you be singing?
Oh, a range of things really, but some of them are quite popular songs. I think we will do some carols, a few carols, something that has, you know, a Christmas feel about it. But things like Yesterday, Summertime.
Oh, lovely.
You know, I Give My Life to You, a few gospel pieces as well. So there'll be a range, a variety of things that'll just be fun.
The people who have belonged to the choir, you said that some of them were going into Chichester to sing there before?
Yes, they were really, and I think that was one of the things that people said, oh look, we travel into Chichester to join a choir. Wouldn't it be great if we didn't have to do that? But of course the reverse has happened. Word has spread to Chichester. We did a variety of articles in the Observer and Selsey Life, and some people got a hold of those. And actually some people are coming from Chichester now to join the Selsey Community Choir.
Really?
So, yes.
That's beautiful, isn't it?
It is nice, yes.
And what, are there mainly men or women in the choir?
No, it's a mixture. I think we've got about 18 men.
Really?
Yes, so that's the tenors and the basses covered, and then the rest are obviously the sopranos and the altos. But that's been a surprise, I think, the interest of the men, because that's what we were worried about, that there wouldn't be enough men.
And there are.
And there are. And the wonderful thing about it is there's such a range of people there. You know, we've got 12 and over, but I think we've got about 8 youngsters, 14, 16.
And they
17.
come from the college?
Yes,
the
some
academy?
come from the academy, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Is there much support from the Academy? Do they regard it as a sort of project or as part of the...
I mean, we haven't been engaged with the Academy as part of it,
right.
But there are, people there from the Academy, really.
And the oldest person?
Oh, I'm not sure. I'm not sure who's the oldest.
But you've got some pensioners too.
We've certainly got some pensioners, myself included.
And how often do you practice?
On a Wednesday evening.
And where do you practice?
In the Selsey Town Hall, and it's for an hour and a half.
So if people wanted to join the choir now, how do they do it?
Well, they just come along on a Wednesday night at...
To where?
To the Selsey Town Hall at 7 o'clock.
Not the Selsey Centre, the Selsey Town Hall.
Selsey Town Hall. Yes, we have to have the performance in the Selsey Centre, because with that great number in the choir, there wouldn't be enough room for actually
For
the
the
audience to sit. So that's why we're transferring it to the...
How much is it going to cost to come and listen to the performance?
Oh, I think about £3.
Okay.
We want to make it accessible for all.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of it, really. It's a great activity that doesn't cost a huge amount. So we wanted to make it accessible for everyone to be involved in it.
So what do anybody who joins the choir, do they have to wear special clothes, or are you going to have a uniform?
Oh no, we haven't got that far yet. We just about can get the music sorted out, let alone the uniform.
So who's the pianist?
I'm not sure about that at the moment. I mean, at the moment, Andre actually plays. He does work with somebody closely in Chichester, but unfortunately, I know her first name, Sue. She hasn't been able to do the Wednesday evenings, but as we continue towards the performance, then she will make arrangements to be able to work with him, because they have a very close, relationship musically, and that's what... that's what he wants to happen, is to work with her.
How well do the choristers? Is it choristers?
I don't know, and it's not. This isn't an equally. Sorry, I can't say that it's in a church choir. But they are choristers, I suppose.
So how well do they get on with their conductor?
Oh, they love him. They adore him. I have comments all the time saying, what fun. He's really inspiring. Time goes so quickly. It's an hour and a half, and it actually flies by.
Right. Do you think we can record it?
Oh, absolutely, yes.
So we'll make a date for that. So the rehearsals are at 7 o'clock?
Yes, 7 o'clock in the Selsey
Town Hall. And
till 8:30.
Would this be a good place for people to come if they wanted to join the choir? Or do you test them? How do you know?
Oh no, we don't test them. It isn't about that.
Yeah.
It is about participation. It's about engaging in singing as an activity that's actually going to bring people together. It's about social interaction, and of course it's about them learning the skill of singing. But it isn't about auditioning. It isn't about them having to have a specific standard before they can join.
Right.
It's for everyone. That's the whole point of it.
So somebody with a deep brown voice who doesn't sing very well would be welcome?
I think so.
Really?
Yes, of course. You could do that.
I think I might come down.
Oh yeah, well do come down, because the only thing I'd say now, we are getting into week 4, so we've done quite a lot of work, up to that time really, so.
And what is the most enjoyable part about it then? Is it just being together, or is it a shared love of music?
I think all those things really. I think it is a shared love of music. It is about, social interaction with people. It is about teamwork. It is about developing all those skills, those musical skills. But also it's about, people having somewhere to go so they can interact with people, they can meet with people. And, the activity is funded by West Sussex, by the Wellness Fund, and Social Interaction Fund, and that's what we got the money for, so people have somewhere to go, they can engage with others, singing is very good for, for the heart, it's very good for the lungs, it's a very good activity, to keep you physically fit.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Chris, you have the sort of the lilt of the valleys in your voice.
I do have the lilt of the valleys in my voice.
So, did you sing in Wales?
No, I didn't sing in Wales. I sing to myself.
Yeah.
My father was a member of the male voice choir, so singing's always been around, you know, in the family. But actually, no, my background was always in dance. So drama and dance, that was, you know.
Drama and dance?
Yes.
Okay, that's wonderful. Chris, I'm going to come and hear you rehearsing.
Oh, that'd be fabulous.
And I'm certainly going to make a date for that performance.
Yes, that'll be great.
Thank you so much for coming in.
Okay, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Now it's time for Lyn's larder, and she's going to be cooking up some real treats for us in preparation for Christmas.
Well, I'm back in Tuppeny Rice with Lyn. This is Hugh Graham here. And Lyn, I have to tell you, I've made the plum pudding.
And?
I think you could get drunk on just making it, really.
You're supposed to put that into the pudding here.
I did put it in there, but I had a little taste first. And all I can tell you is that the aroma of that pudding was fantastic.
Yeah, all those spices and the alcohol. It was the alcohol that got you though, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, that did help, yes.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
But I can't wait to eat it to Christmas. And I think this is going to be the first time I've really enjoyed Christmas pudding.
Oh, that's wonderful. Nothing smells like Christmas, does it, Hugh? Nothing.
Absolutely not. Now, you were going to tell me about how to make mincemeat for mince pies.
Yeah, everybody goes out and buys jars of mincemeat, don't they? Why not make our own? Because it's so much nicer, so much easier than most people think. It's just not a hard job, and once you've done it, it makes your mince pies to die for. So let's just go with this then.
Okay, so mincemeat.
Yeah, mincemeat. So going with the ingredients, we want 500 grams of currants. Currants.
Right, okay.
500 grams of raisins.
Right.
And 500 grams of sultanas.
Okay.
Quite a lot, but this is a big, rich, fruity mincemeat, all right? You want 500 grams of Bramley apples, and you want them peeled, chopped and cored, all right?
Okay.
Peeled, cored and chopped, if you like. And you want them fairly small. So you don't want big quarters of apples, you want chopped apple.
So diced, really?
Diced apple, yes, diced apple would be good. Okay. 250 gram boxes of shredded beef suet.
Right.
All right.
Where do you get that from?
Any supermarket will sell shredded beef suet.
Okay.
They do. They sell it for dumplings and things. 100 grams of whole blanched almonds, and you want to chop them quite coarsely as well. You get them from Tuppeny Rice.
Where else?
350 grams of natural demerara sugar. It doesn't have to be natural demerara sugar. You can't get much more than natural demerara sugar.
Yeah,
so
right,
350 grams of brown sugar. And then you want some really dark, you know, the muscovado sugar. You want 100 grams of that as well to give this nice rich colour. One rounded teaspoon of ground cinnamon. 2 rounded teaspoons of ground mixed spice. Just imagine the smell of this one then. 1 large juicy lemon, 250 grams of whole mix peeled, chopped into small dices, 125 ml of dark rum.
Oh, good. I wonder when we're going to get to that.
175 ml of, wait for it, French brandy.
Oh, yes. Wonderful.
And 125 ml. Do you know the Di Serrano? This is optional, but I like it. The Di Serrano original liqueur.
Oh, yeah.
125 ml of that. So, or Cointreau. Perhaps just a teaspoon of Cointreau if you
Well,
can't get
both.
Serrano. Why not have both? You can put as much alcohol in this as you like, but it's a beautiful mince pie. So we're going to wash and dry the fruit thoroughly. After we've washed and dried our hands thoroughly, we're going to wash and dry the fruit thoroughly in a colander under the cold tap. It might be easier to do this in batches because there's quite a lot of fruit going on here, all right? You might only have a little colander in your house. I know I do. So just wash it in batches, and it needs to be dried quite thoroughly as well. So into a clean tea towel, rub it dry. It doesn't say, a lot of people say you don't need to wash fruit nowadays. I've always done it, and I think I always will. Even dried fruit, I think you do need to wash it. It's just something I've always done. It's optional. Tip the fruit onto clean tea towels and dry by patting in the cloths. Put the dried fruit in a very large bowl with the apples, suet, almonds, sugars and spices, all right? Grate the zest of the lemon into the bowl, then squeeze in all the juice. So you want the zest. The zest of a lemon, for anybody that doesn't know, is just really the outside peel. You're just going to just lightly scrape the peel off. That's the zest of a lemon. And then the inside of the lemon, squeeze that into the bowl, tip in the peel and the alcohol. Yummy.
Right.
Mix very thoroughly. It's easiest to do this with your very clean hands. Yeah, it's easiest to do this with your hands. Cover and leave it to stand for 24 hours. All right.
In the kitchen or
in the kitchen's fine. Just cover it with a nice clean tea towel.
But not in the fridge?
No, it doesn't need to be in the fridge. You want it to ferment a little bit. You want it to get, soak in and do all that stuff. Ask the family to give it a good spoon as they go by. Keep mixing it. A bit like your plum pudding last week. But just as the family go by, just say, stir that mix for me. I bet you they don't do it without tasting a bit though, so you'll have to watch you've got some left at the end of it. Now you're going to pack it into the sterilised jars, and a couple of weeks ago we talked about how to sterilise jars. If anybody missed that one and they'd like to know, please come into Tuppeny Rice and I'll give you the sheet about how to sterilise your jam jars. Kilner jars are an ideal thing to use. And top it with greaseproof paper jam covers, those ones, and seal them very tightly and store it in a cool place. Right? This mincemeat, that will last for about a year.
Really?
It would go to next Christmas, but it is best within 6 months because it loses some flavour along the way.
Right.
All right, best within 6 months, but it will last at least a good year.
Okay. Right, why is it called mincemeat?
I really don't know the answer to that. I should have researched it more, shouldn't I, Hugh? I really don't know the answer as to why it's called mincemeat. I don't know. When people say to me mincemeat, I always think of dinner, mincemeat and onions. But that's mincemeat.
Well, I think that's something you ought to find out. And
I think I should.
And put up a notice in Tuppeny Rice.
Okay, I would. But minced meat for dinner is minced meat. This is mincemeat.
Yeah.
See, so there's a slight difference in the wording. But yeah, I'll find out why it's called mincemeat.
Okay.
Probably just because it's a concoction of lots of meats all put together.
So, are you going to tell us how to make short crust pastry next week or the week after? Because
I haven't put that together for this, and I'll tell you why, because most women that I know today would prefer to go and buy short crust pastry.
But you're forgetting there's an awful lot of experimental fellas like me who would actually like to have a go at doing this.
Well, I'll tell you what we'll do. When we've done this series of Christmas stuff, we'll do a run on short crust and flaky pastry and things like that. How does that sound?
I'll tell you what, why don't we do a series of teachings for single people living on their own?
That's a good idea, isn't it? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, never mind about that. We've made the mincemeat. What are we going to do next?
Well, do you know
what? What are we going to do next week?
I really think that we should get on with a good rich fruit cake because we haven't got long.
Christmas cake.
A Christmas cake. A nice rich fruit cake because we haven't got long, have we, to get it marzipan and iced and everything else. And fermenting nicely for Christmas.
Okay, all right, so it's Christmas cake next week.
Christmas cake next week.
All right, thanks a lot, Lyn. I'll see you next week.
Now it's time for Giles Peare, and he's going to give us some lovely tips for what's happening in the October garden. And then after that, we'll be having a thought for the day.
So it's Hugh Graham with Selsey Internet Radio. I'm talking with Giles Peare, our resident gardening correspondent, expert. Giles, I have to tell you that after last week, you developed an unexpected ally in Marjorie, who thought it was a brilliant idea to fill the deep freeze up with blackberries for the birds.
Yeah.
I have to tell you, we've got the fattest seagulls in the whole of England. And by the looks of it, she's going to start up with the blackbirds now. Anyway, you've made a friend of her life with her.
Yes, well, I say they will come good. They will come good later in the hard winter. Yeah, it's a good idea. At the moment, the ivy is producing late flowers this time of year, which is really good because obviously it's a haven for the late butterflies and bees that are still around. It's their sort of feast before the last feast they'll have basically this year. So do watch out for them in the ivy flowers. It's nice, especially the butterflies. Nice to see them. I know they're getting rare now, but do keep an eye out for them.
Yeah.
And also the other thing this time of year, I do suggest people do if they can, is go to some harvest festivals, because a lot of them are on at this time of year, and in the village churches, in the country churches, in the towns, wherever it might be. And it's such a uplifting experience to go to these festivals because you see all the wonderful produce that's been produced wherever locally, and the sense of that come through from these different bits of produce into the churches are really nice. And also it's a great chance to give thanks to our God, our Almighty God, for all His bountiful goodness to us all. So do try, everyone, and get to a harvest festival somewhere.
Okay.
At this time of year.
There's a good flower festival at At East Beach Church every
Oh,
year.
is there? Oh, is there? Oh, well, that would
Well,
be
go and
worth.
have a look at it, Giles, and tell us what you think.
Yeah, I certainly will. Yeah, that sounds very, very interesting. Nice, I mean, nice idea. Yeah, I will do. Now, I would like to say about going back to bedding again, but this time not about box containers and boxes, etc. And I'm now talking about in the borders. Now remove the summer bedding from the borders and wherever else you have them outside, and replace them with wallflowers. They're very good for the winter, and also with pansies and violas, and underplant with snowdrops and crocuses, because then they will come through later on.
Okay.
They will come through, and you'll have the bedding, which will go on for quite a while. And then the other thing is, vegetable-wise, get into the garden now, and in the vegetable plot, double dig any spare ground ready for the planting next year. And it's a bit physically quite hard, but it's worthwhile. Throw in some good organic compost and a bit of manure as well, and double dig it, and keep digging it, and then do this every few weeks right through, not every week obviously, but every so often through the winter, and then you're all ready when the spring comes to, you've got your ground up and ready to do whatever you want. The other thing is, this time of year, is if you're going to thinking of planting any new roses, trees and shrubs in the garden, this is a good time to order them now, and order them bare-rooted. Bare-rooted at this time of year. And then when you get them, if you're not actually ready to put them straight in, just what I call heel them in. In other words, just heel them, put them in the soil and just cover them slightly with a bit of a trench, if you like, a mini trench with some soil over them, until you're ready to put them in their final quarters.
Okay.
But this is a very good time, and again, around here we're very lucky that we can go visiting nurseries and have a look at them.
But most people would buy them in containers, wouldn't they?
Yeah, but this time of year is better to do. I repeat, it's a good time for bare-rooted stock.
Okay.
You can get container grows obviously all the year, I know, but it's mainly this time of year, bare-root is better.
What roses grow particularly well down here?
Beg your pardon?
What roses?
To be honest, they're all pieces a good one. Dublin Bay is a good one, Irish, but it's a very prolific rose.
Yeah.
And many more. They're two very good ones that do very well in this area. And Floribundas do quite well. Bush, no, they all do. I would suggest most roses, those are the two main ones I like, but it's a very personal thing, roses.
Sure.
There aren't many that won't do well round here, put it that way.
Okay.
Because there's some very good rose nurseries, as you know, round here as well.
Yep.
So, excuse me. My tip at the minute for this week is to do a bit of painting. If you've got any fences, trellises or outdoor furniture, give it a good covering of used car oil. Paint it with used car oil as a preventative for the winter.
Used car oil?
Yeah.
What, without any form of dilution?
No, just used car
oil. So you
oil.
don't put any oils?
No? Just paint it onto the, wherever it is, the trellis, the fencing or whatever, and just leave it be, and it'll do it. It'll be good protection for the winter.
So in that case, it'll save you some money too.
Yeah, it will. Yeah, you're not having to buy anything. Exactly, just a bit of elbow grease. Yeah.
And how long will it protect it for?
Oh, all through the winter.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So that's a good something to do for the week.
All right. Well, thanks a lot then, Giles.
Yeah, right, okay, we'll look forward to seeing you next week.
Okay, what are we going to talk about next week?
Next week we're going to talk about pruning, not the pruning we've already discussed with you. Some more pruning about some shrubs, and also we're going to talk about some apples, storage of apples, and that's the main things next week, really, yeah.
Okay, well, look forward to seeing you next week, Giles.
Right, bye for now.
Thanks a lot, bye-bye. We end this week's Selsey Internet Radio podcast with a thought from the day from Alistair Hornell, who is the interregnum pastor at East Beach Evangelical Church.
Last week I took my car to the scrapyard. That was a really tough experience. It's been a car that's served us well, we really enjoyed it, and it was really sad seeing it after its last journey. A little bit of encouragement that some of its bits might be recycled and used for something else, but it just looked lonely and sad. And then I had this sobering thought. Some people probably are living their lives just like that. Past their useful life, or maybe just bashed up and feeling a bit trashed, left in the scrap heap. It made me glad to think that I'm a Christian and that God doesn't actually throw people in the scrap heap. He gives us hope. One day he's going to make everything new. There's going to be a new heaven and new earth where everything's going to be just right. But actually, he wants to give us a new start now. The Bible says that if anyone is in Christ, he's a new creation. God doesn't throw us on the scrap heap. He gives us new beginnings, new life, and a sure hope for the future. And that's got to be something worth sharing.
Well, thank you everybody for listening, and we hope you join us again next time. I've been Emma Cawley, and we hope you've enjoyed our podcast. See you next time. Goodbye.